Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Anime Book Club. My name is Chester, and this is Snow.
Hi.
She sounds so down, doesn't she? But she's actually really happy. She was just laughing about 2 seconds ago. Anyways, welcome back. We're doing the Spy Family. This is the season two. This is the final 7 episodes that we're doing. So we're doing 7 through 12. Yeah, 7 through 12. The hell was that?
Me closing the door because Jacob has an annoying squeaker right now. It's like, that's a squeaker noise. It's awful. So I close the door before panics like, "Where's mom?" And then he brings the squeaker in with me. Hey, you open the door, fucker.
This
Sorry.
is not
Continue.
scripted. Alright, so anyways, we're doing the last 7 episodes. So we're gonna start with 7. We're gonna end with 12. No, sorry, we're gonna end with 13, aren't we? Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I'm doing odds, so we're starting off. So episode 7 is titled "A Revenge Plot Against Desmond," and Mama goes. Not Mama becomes the wind. Um, these are broken up into two, so if we get kind of confused and turned around, that's why. Anyways,
Mhm.
so this episode starts off with two men talking in an office. The boss says that the Gluman pharmaceutical company would be dissolved in less than a month's time thanks to the Desmond Group. We then find out that the child of the pharmaceutical directors is named George Gluman or Georgie Gluman. Georgie? George? Whatever. It turns out he's one of Anya's classmates, and it also turns out that the one who had hired Daybreak to change Damien's answers to failing scores was this kid as well. Um, I would add the photos of it, but on this one I didn't take any photos or screenshots of the episodes, so you're gonna have to watch the anime for yourself to find out. But this guy looks really weird. Anyways, George drops a cigarette butt as they are cleaning up the quad area. They're on trash duty, so he drops a cigarette butt and asks Damien if it was his. When Damien says that he had never smoked it or smoked and raises his hand, George takes a pratfall and tells the teacher that Damien had punched him for it. The teacher then immediately says that his two friends, Damien's two friends, can't be trusted since everybody knows that they're Damien's cronies. But Anya steps in and tells the teacher that George just fell with absolutely no reason. The teacher thinks to himself that she's bad news since she got her first Demetrius bolt on the very first day, and he just walks away, just ignores any and all problems that come around. Um, to say sorry, Damien buys George a drink. George then starts taking things too far because in his mind he was going to end up quitting the school, and that was actually going to be his very last day because the pharmaceutical group was supposed to completely fold the very next day. So he starts taking things too far, saying he's never ordered the most expensive menu item in the school and that he had always wanted to wear a stella on his chest. For this, Damien ends up buying him the caviar bowl and he lets him wear his stella.
This
And
gets real cringy, guys, by the way.
he really
Fair
is.
warning.
He's the same levels of cringy as Daybreak is. So just about there. And if you guys remember who
Well,
Daybreak
like,
was, he's the cringy ass spy. So,
mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to say something else.
No, you said so, and then you just stop, like cockroaches. Like, you could hear them chirping. Continue.
Cockroaches don't chirp. Anyway, um, at the very end of the day, he really starts to milk things, and he goes even farther, saying that before leaving, he was really looking forward to ending the school year, with the uh, with the class's choir show. Everybody just kind of says, This is really, really dumb. I can't believe this. I can't believe this guy. But Becky ends up leading them in a song. Like no actual words. They're just basically vocalizing. Um, at the very end of the day, Damien gives George his school writing supplies, and the class gives him a bunch of their things because they were expensive or because they were nice, but basically just because they felt sorry for this kid. Anya gives him a leaf that she found at the side of the road and just kind of like puts it against his chest and goes, "There you go." Um,
And
After all that, it turns out that what had actually happened is that the Desmond Company had bought out the Gluman Pharmaceutical Company. Literally nothing would change except the fact that the kid's dad was not gonna be a CEO anymore, but he was still gonna get the pay. Um, so the next day, Anya oversleeps and she forgets her gym clothes at home. Yor figures that she'll take it to her at the school and rushes over, only for Anya to tell her that she had no gym class that day and that she didn't need her gym clothing that day.
guys, this was a whole task and a half though for you, your to get to Anya. Like they made it look like a mission where Twilight saw Yor at the school. And she's like, "Wait, what is she doing here?" etc. And it was like a huge thing for like the last like 10 minutes of the episode or
It
whatever it
was
is.
the entire second half of the episode for sure.
Yeah, it was like, guys, they made it like actually once the next morning they genuinely made it like a casual day and then a huge mission and a half for Yor to get Anya's gym clothes. Because one of the reasons is because Yor can't be seen giving Anya her gym clothes because then she would get a Demetrius boat. And that would be due because she forgot it, what she needed for the day. But
Yep.
yeah, it was it was a whole thing.
And that
Um,
was episode 7. Everybody clap. Yay. All right.
yay.
Episode 8 goes to Snow.
Um, and that episode, I'm sorry, episode 7 is just really dramatic. It is
It
honestly
honestly
so
was.
over the top, like dramatic, like
Only to find out that, oh, yeah, no, yeah, no, you're still going to go to school. Go finish your homework.
yeah, and then it was so over the top. Funny, but over the top. Sorry, episode 8. My bad, guys. This one starts off in with Mr. Henderson, Professor Henderson, Jesus. In the class with all the students. Anya's there, of course. Same with Desmond, the Desmond kid, whatever it is. Professor Henderson is saying to the class how they need to do an assignment on what their parents' work is and like they need to write about it, etc. So
Wait, hang on, pause on that. It's they have to make a report on what they would like to be when they grow up. Not necessarily their parents' job, but what they would like to do when they grow up.
that, but they are also supposed to look at their parents' job too.
He said that they were allowed to.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fair. Well, under the perspection of this episode, it's like you have to look at your parents because I must have missed that one little part.
Well,
But
I mean,
under the
he
what I was under impression was that like you would have to go to your
no,
parents'
because he
jobs and do
also said
research.
that the kids could interview him if they ever wanted to know what being a teacher entailed.
Oh, fair enough. So Anya thinks about yours job, about how assassination, etc. So obviously yours dressed up in her assassination getup, and then Anya has a mini version. Your talks her through about the bad guy of how they have to do extensive research on her targets, how she's gonna kill them, how she needs to be smooth and elegant, etc. Things like that. Anya got blood on her and then like kind of panicked. But then they actually glimpse back to your talking, or Anya talking to your about this project. Um, and honestly, from first glance, it's Anya's point of view, but from second glance, they actually tie it off with it's yours point of view of that's she's gonna get blood on herself, like Anya, and all that, and how there's no way that Yor could take her Anya with her to work. Um, Twilight, Lloyd, sorry, walks home, and Anya goes with Lloyd the following day. Of course, Lloyd called ahead, notifying everyone that he has to bring Anya for a school project at his workplace. Anya's dressed up in this like I don't know, like a spy outfit. And she keeps writing down notes every time that nothing significant is being said. So whenever Lloyd has like an my inside thought, right, that's not going to be said out loud, Anya obviously hears it and she starts writing it down because she thinks it's like super cool and it's like spy things. Um, they're introduced to colleagues, yada yada yada, essentially. And going for Lloyd puts Anya in his room, like his doctor's office, and then Anya goes to the bookshelf, wanting to play with the books. Lloyd thinks inside his head, saying like, "Oh, I can't have her touching that because there's a secret passage door there, right? And if she accidentally tripped it, I would be in trouble, right?" So of course he tells Anya not to go near it, and then Anya listens to a degree where of course she knows that there is a secret passage in there. Lloyd needs to run out because he's being summoned by another agent, doctor. I don't know, they look like a doctor, but they're an agent. So Lloyd pulls out a box, a stand, and like a whole bunch of toys, and then he tells Anya she needs to organize it the way that she wants, with whatever, right? Like a sandbox. So Lloyd leaves the room. Anya obviously looks for the secret passage. Meanwhile, Lloyd is talking to Nightfall, and they're talking about a mission that they are going to be assigned together, and they're getting minor debriefs on it. Anya is in the secret passage. She makes a noise. People underneath her in the building are in a conference right now, and then they think it's a ghost and they freak out. Anya's freaking out because she got her foot stuck. But then she realizes she has to run back, not run back, but like hurry back to the office because Lloyd's going to be back there soon. So essentially, Anya makes it back in time and then dumps the box of like trees, whatever, in the sandbox and just makes a mess, like kind of buries some of them in it, just to make it look like she was doing something there. Lloyd gets back and he's like super concerned, right? He's like, "No way! Like I never thought her mind was this chaotic, etc." Lloyd and Anya head back to the house. Anya completes her assignment. The next day, they're at school talking to Mr. Henderson as a class, and they are explaining what their parents do or what types of jobs they want to do. This part's a little funny. Anya does hers, and it's like all chill in that at first, but then she makes some of like the doctor things with the spy info that she wrote down. So now she's collaborating the two, and everyone's getting really concerned. To the point where it's like all their faces kind of go bleak white. Meanwhile, Lloyd is talking to his handler, and then he kind of like feels sick to his stomach randomly, right? Handler's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "I don't know. I just feel like something bad is gonna happen, etc." Um, and actually, a couple days later, Lloyd did get a call from the school needing to explain that whole presentation and clear it up, which was done. And then they spend the last like 10 minutes of the episode doing this really corny play where Anya's watching a spy show and her spy freaking whatever it's called. And they need to he had a decoded he had a decoded message that meant meet at the bridge. So of course Anya tries to make one. Oh, pardon me. Anya tries to make one and then realizes nobody will ever be able to read her handwriting, so she gets yours to write it for her. Then passes them out to random people, anyone that she can, a secret message, top secret. She gives one to Bushy Hair, a couple to her friends, etc., and then sets her alarm the next day to obviously go to the bridge and meet whoever is able to decode the message. But her dog prevented her from waking up that day because he turned off her alarm. So she never went to the bridge. But they did a really funny part where Bushy Hair was decoding the message, and then he randomly thought, instead of like a kid giving it to her, like there was like this hot mistress that gave her the message to give to him, right? So it's like a super like love thing. So he shows up at the bridge with a bouquet of roses, dead ass tired, like he looks like a zombie because he was up so late last night or whatever, decoding the message, but also so excited to meet his mystery hot date. In reality, it was just gonna be Anya, and he got stood up. I don't know. Jester, you're muted, by the way, man.
So, a couple things.
Why were
Uh,
you muted that whole time? What are you eating?
Nothing. I'm not eating.
Bullshit.
So anyway, a couple
What
things.
are you eating?
Don't worry about it. So a couple things here. Um,
You were so fucking quiet. I was like, what? Does he know you're muted? Like, okay.
yeah, I knew I was muted. I
I was
muted
like,
myself
why
intent
didn't you just jump in then?
because you just kept going in, and I tried to unmute myself a couple times, and you just kept barreling on through. So I'm like, okay, I'll just let her finish.
Well, you could have said like, I have a point or something. Like,
Okay, well, I have a point.
okay,
Um,
smartass.
at the hospital, that was an actual hospital. It wasn't a front for Lloyd. It was a front for Lloyd, but it wasn't part of the organization. It was an actual
Yeah,
hospital. So everybody in the hospital was actual. They were actual doctors. They weren't playing the part. They were actually like doctors. And
some of them
the
were.
no, they all were because Lloyd explained that it was good for him to work in an actual hospital as an actual doctor or an
No,
actual
but some of them were
psychiatrist.
spies.
No, the only one that was a spy was Nightfall.
Mm,
Everybody else was an actual doctor.
interesting.
Yeah, and he said that it was important for him to actually be there as an actual doctor with other doctors so that they could back up his story of being a real doctor.
That's fair.
Um, Aside from that, yeah, no, these episodes, this season's being broken up into like two different parts per
They
episode.
seem to
It's
get like a weird start at the beginning, and then the last 10 minutes kind of like teeters down to like a random thing.
Yeah, it's so weird. Although I did love the fact that Frankie thought it was an actual date. That
Yeah,
was
that's 100%.
that's it
No, but
was
like things like that, I think it adds character, but it's also like odd at the same time.
it makes the entire episode kind of feel like a fever dream to me. I don't know.
That's fair.
Aside from that, I think everything was yeah. Um, no, yeah.
I can hear Jacob's fucking toy. Ew, ew. It's awful.
I
I can
can't hear it.
actually hear it.
I can't hear anything, so you get.
Oh my god, I want to kill that squeaker toy. Sorry. Continue.
Oh, okay. So episode 9, which is titled Nightfall and First Fit of Jealousy. So, the woman from the last episode and the handler are talking about Operation Strix. The woman said that if she hadn't been busy at the time, she could have been on the mission as Lloyd's wife to support him. The woman, Fiona, is then shown to be codenamed Nightfall. Again, the same lady that was on the last episode. So, the handler tells her it would be too problematic since Eton, the school, would notice the change or remarriage if Lloyd were to remarry so soon after Anya had been accepted. And she also said that it's good to have Yor since she's a local to the city and tells the other woman not to get any ideas or not to interfere. The
This
woman
is like a
just
huge thing, by the way, guys. Like
it
it's a
honestly is.
huge.
It makes things fun.
Yeah, it's like
hilariously
it
fun.
just makes it sound like it's like irrelevant, but it's actually like a huge.
For now,
This girl
this is
is
just like
like
the first.
majorly like
This is
in
just the first
love.
like 5 episodes. Jesus Christ, now. Anyways,
Sorry,
God,
someone didn't have a Happy Pulse Cheerios.
someone did have a good day at work. Anyway,
Wow, you're going to hell.
I'll
Fuck
meet you there.
you,
I'll meet you there. Anyway,
asshole.
so the woman just excuses herself and ends up at the Forger home. Lloyd, Anya, and Bond get home, and Lloyd confronts Nightfall. Anya starts reading their minds and wonders if Nightfall's an enemy spy, but then she reads her mind even closer and she finds out that she is actually in love with Lloyd. Thank you for ruining it, Snow. Anyway, she finds out that Nightfall is in love with Lloyd. So Yor figures that Lloyd wanted to sell her off to the authorities so that he and Nightfall could get married instead, which is actually pretty much what she wanted to, what Fiona wanted to do. Anyways, after spilling some cocoa, Anya reads the woman's mind and knows that if Fiona were to be her mom, then she would have complete control over her life. Since she said that she would train Anya day and night, every single minute would be planned out for her. Anya then uh, she rushes over to Yor and says that she suddenly wanted her mom to coddle her, and she says that she loves the mom that cleans up her cocoa mess the most in the world. Anya then cuddles Bond and tells them that she is really the happiest to be with the family that she's with, not with any other family that she might have been with. At the end of the episode, Anya and Bond are both watching a cartoon. She tells Bond that the polar bear looks like him, and then immediately after the penguin gets shot. Lloyd then drags Anya to her room to sleep, but in the morning, Anya sees that her huge stuffed penguin from episode, I think it was 12 or 11 from last one.
Something.
Yeah, something around there.
Yeah.
Um, that huge stuffed penguin had been destroyed. She reads Bond's mind, the dog's mind, and he says Penguin Bad stole Anya. Lloyd tells her that he would fix her penguin and sends her to do her homework. When it's all done, he said that the scars that the penguin has are medals of valor and that the penguin had suffered honorable injuries to get them.
It was a huge thing, guys. This whole episode, I know he like talked about it like in a flash, but it was a huge fucking.
Yeah, I talked about it super quick because like it's literally nothing to do with the entire with any of the story.
I
It's
know.
just
I
like
really
an
like that
extra.
though. I really like the little extra penguin. Like that one added character to it.
So I'm not gonna lie, throughout this entire season, I'm just kind of wondering if like the second half of the episode is just like a throwaway because nothing kind of goes along with it. But anyways,
I feel like it was to a degree. I don't know. Like it is, but
how did this penguin getting destroyed fit into the story at all?
because it's cute
That
and
doesn't
it's
no.
unnecessary. They do a lot of unnecessary things on this anime. All right. Anyway, episode 10. So,
So,
episode 10 starts with Nightfall. No,
yep.
Nightfall, right? Okay, being cringy as fuck. Cringy, guys. Be like
So
her
she seems
stalking.
super serious, but her mind, she just keeps saying that she loves Night
She's like,
Twilight.
I love you, like in Twilight and like to Twilight or whatever in her like dream. But there's like a vision of like your Lloyd and Anya and the dog all together as a happy family, and her trying like wanting to kill him, like that should be me, etc. Like super major jealousy, super major fucking thing. Um, so they start off where, well, other than that, they started off with her aggressively loving Lloyd and showing that. And then they continue on the end of episode 9 where Lloyd and Nightfall were placed on a mission together. Right? So they kind of Nightfall and Lloyd talk about the mission together in his office. doctor's office or whatever. And they come up with a plan where they have to play a game, underground match tennis game thing, right? To win a painting, which is the mission. They have to collect a certain amount of painting, like a certain painting, because the certain painting has a message at the bottom of it. And they have to get that message. I don't know. Do you want to add anything on that, Chester?
I do, yeah. Turns out that this dossier, they call it a dossier, but it turns out that they say that the dossier contains information that will reignite the flames of war, and they take it to mean that it can reignite the war between the East and the West.
Mm.
Is that
Well,
really where you're going to end it? Just there?
mm. It's like I knew all that. I just really didn't want to talk about it, to
I
be honest.
mean,
So
they
that's why I
don't know
passed the
about it.
baton.
That's why.
Anyway, that's why I passed the baton. So I was like, did you notice how I asked this time? Anything else to add, Chester?
Go
What
ahead.
have I asked before?
Continue, Snow.
Okay, so then they're in a disguise. Okay, quote, disguise. Like we clearly know it's them, but
I mean, they had me
um
fooled for the first 10 minutes, but okay.
what are you, Luffy from One Piece? Sorry.
One Piece
Sorry.
is terrible.
No, okay, you know what, guys? If you watch One Piece, you would understand the
It's
reference.
so
Luffy's
bad.
so gullible,
It
honestly,
is
guys.
so
Okay.
bad.
Anyway, um, they start the tennis match. Of course, it's underground, so any rules fly. They breeze. Nightfall breezes through the first two competitors, right? Because it's she's just like aggressively like annihilates them because she just wants appreciation from Lloyd and she just wants to win and show Lloyd how good she is. So she's like pulling out her best moves, etc. Literally no extra. I don't know how to describe this scene. It's just they were annihilated essentially. It was like a walk in the park. It was like a 2 second match. The following match, that's where they kind of got a little dirty, I think.
Kind of, sort of.
Meanwhile, they kind of clip back before they do the second match. They clip back to Yor thinking about like she's getting jealous, right? She's like wondering if Nightfall's gonna be there, what Lloyd's doing, etc. Things like that. As she's in the park with Anya and Bond playing tennis. Anya reads her mind, and then she tries to cheer up Yor. Um,
Oh, so his cover story for Yor and Anya is their company was doing an intercompany tennis
mm,
game
hmm
to get closer to each other, or to get closer amongst each other as colleagues. So, yeah. Go ahead.
No, that's a good point. I completely missed that.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yay, I helped.
um, apparently Jacob's mad at me because I'm not cuddling him at this exact time, and it's normally cuddle time. Okay.
How spoiled. Anyways, this is why
It's
my
like
pup is
Pup with
better.
his walk, right? He has a regular time. Jacob has a regular cuddle time. Okay.
Spoiled.
Anyway, they show the underground match. Their second team that they need to go against is like two skinny, scrawny dudes. But then, of course, they use juicers and they get massively fucking jacked to the point they like rip a hole in the fence, like of the court. It's yeah, they're like intense. Um, Lloyd and Anya, they of course make an introduction to one another. And I didn't mean to say Anya. Nightfall and Lloyd, of course, annihilate the two super big, chunky dudes. And they essentially did it by just like hitting them really fucking hard with the tennis ball to the point in multiple spots. So it's like a paintball gun. You can only take so many hits until you're in pain. Okay. It was like it's like blank range with a paintball gun. Okay, like if with a frozen paintball gun. That's what they made it look like.
Okay,
I shit you not.
jumping in here real quick because Snow might not be aware, but tennis is the only ball game where it is completely legal and allowed to hit the opponent with the ball.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's completely legal and it's completely allowed, and players normally do that without getting in trouble.
Yeah. No, but like guys, they really like they on this anime they left welts.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So since they win, they were escorted to a lounge. Um, and of course they talk. They notice Lloyd says you need to slow down because pardon me, Nightfall's hands like all like ripped up in that. Of course, like she looked like a monster. Not as bad as Yor, but Nightfall actually looked like ridiculously like mini Hulk essentially. Nightfall's going like mad with like how she loves her again and intensively staring him down. Lloyd freaks out, etc. In the sense of like he freaks out. He's like, "Did I misread her wrong? Like I was like I didn't mean to repeat like offend whatever, right?" Like he's just like completely baffled. They notice that the room is being filled with smoke, so then they start talking in code, right? Nightfall starts tapping the table. Lloyd uses his foot. Then they hide in a locker. They communicate to go in the locker to minimize the effects. So first round they lose against the two sons of the uh what's it called? Underring match, right? So these two kids have been playing tennis since they like were able to walk essentially, whatever it was, like something ridiculous. And they are the son and daughter of the um owner of the night ring thing. So of course they have cheats. One has like a he I don't know, like it's like a power on his racket where it's like if he hits the ball, it can go so much stronger, like it intensifies the strength.
A
And the
jet
girl
engine
has,
powered racket. Yeah.
yeah, and the girl has like kind of like a whip racket where it like if she can't reach the ball, it like whips out essentially, and she will be able to master it that way. So they lose the first match, and then the second match, Lloyd and Nightfall realize that, and they understand their gimmicks, their cheats, etc. Um, and how they're just gonna have to better them, and the fact that the gas that they're in the room has worn off, so they should be feeling better. So of course they win the freaking second match after the break, with pretty much ease essentially, right? They read the tricks. Uh, they pulled out another trick where the floor starts to move, right? Like the floor underneath them. If they have one foot on one square, then the square will drop and it'll throw you off balance. So then they overcome that trick. Um, and it just kind of ends on that where it's like they we know two things. One, they're cheating with their rackets, and two, now the floor's moving. And also they're still overcoming it with ease with the teamwork as well. Anything to add?
Yes. On this particular tournament, they allow cheating. And
Hmm.
they explain that they allow cheating.
Of
So
course,
doping.
it's like a night it's a night thing, like underground
Yeah.
club thing. So of course they're gonna allow cheating.
You didn't make that clear though.
Oh, well, I thought it was like explanatory since it's like an underground thing.
Well, I
Any
mean,
underground thing, cheating's always allowed. Haven't you watched movies?
haven't you?
Whenever you're underground, like it's an underground ring or whatever,
Not
underground whatever it
always.
is, underground boxing tournament, cheating's allowed. Underground tennis court, cheating's allowed.
No, a
Like,
lot
I
of
don't
times
know.
when something's underground, it just means that betting is legal. It's
Anyway,
allowed and like known about. But yeah, no. On this one, since it's being held by pharmaceutical companies, the doping is completely allowed, and the cheating is allowed with the controlling of the equipment and the thing, um, the equipment and the court. So yeah, that's actually pretty funny.
other
Okay.
dogs at work. I like cheese. You got some cheese. Sorry, guys.
Anyways, episode 11 called The Unwavering Path. So the two The brother and sister kept cheating to try and beat Twilight and Nightfall, but the spies just kept playing to their own strengths. Nightfall gets complimented by Twilight, and she immediately starts thinking of ways that she can stall the game for it to go longer. Twilight looks over at her and thinks that she's finally regained her cool and is thinking of ways to end the tennis match. Since the dad was losing the dad of the other tennis players, the brother and sister team decide to use yet another cheating tactic. Um, the guy wiggles his tongue. He wiggles his tongue out, and a sniper sets out in the AC unit, ready to take a shot. The guy, Twilight tackles Nightfall to the ground to protect her and takes a rubber bullet to the shoulder. Twilight then tells the umpire that he's feeling a little bit hungover from the night before and takes the next swerve while he sways around all over the place. Because he was swaying all over the place, the sniper takes a shot and he misses.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, chill, don't rush me. I let you go at your own pace. I lost my place. So, anyways, the Lloyd then deflects one of the rubber bullets at the same time as he hits the ball back and hits the guy square in the stomach with it. Uh, to which the guy tells the umpire that he thinks the milk that he had drunk that morning had gone bad, so making it seem like he had an upset stomach. Lloyd ends up switching the real painting at the very end because they end up winning, of course, naturally. He ends up switching the real painting with a fake one since he knew that they would switch it out for a fake and give them the fake one um, that they were after. Anyways, when Lloyd finally gets home, they do see Yor, Anya, and Bond playing tennis outside. Fiona, Nightfall, gets out of the car and says hello. Fiona then challenges Yor to a tennis match, thinking that if Yor loses, then Lloyd would choose Fiona as his wife. When Yor sets up to serve, she swings at the ball but seemingly misses. Once the ball hits the ground, though, it crumbles into a big pile and turns out that Yor had swung at it so hard that she sliced straight through it. On the second serve, Yor let up a little bit, but still hit it super, 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 super hard. Fiona does manage to hit the ball, but it ends up breaking her racket and basically traumatizing her. Um, the very next day, the handler tells Lloyd that they cracked the code. The dossier ends up being just a journal full of photos of cute actresses from a couple years ago. It turns out that the dossier and the saying that it would reignite the flames of war just meant that the guy's wife would get angry at him again for having the photos of the actresses. So that was the flame of war, quote unquote. And then we get a small view of what Fiona is doing because apparently she had gone to the train in the mountains for some reason, and we just see her swinging a stick with a boulder at the end of it, saying that she's gonna get stronger.
I think it was more or less just because she was defeated by Yor.
Yeah, because she wants to. She when she left, she told Yor that she would like a revenge rematch later on.
Revenge match, whatever it was. Yeah,
So yeah, that's actually pretty funny. But that's where it ends.
yeah.
And these
Um
last two, the 10 and 11, are pretty much the only two episodes so far where we don't see a weird cutout at the second half of the episode.
mm, um yeah, that's fair.
12.
The beginning of 12 is freaking funny as shit, guys. Bear with me to get to that point. So, starts off with Yor walking home. She crosses some neighbor and she's like devastated. She's like mumbling to herself, and it makes it seem like Lloyd's cheating on her because of Nightfall, right? So then the neighbors start gossiping about how they should report Lloyd to the secret police because he's an unfaithful husband. Lloyd is overhearing that in the background because obviously he's a spy not far behind her. freaks out, and then he's like, this can't happen. There's no way, because it's too believable of a problem if Yor was going to be like, he's cheating on me or whatever to her brother, Yuki, whatever it is. Then he'll just report Lloyd for no reason, essentially, because they don't like each other.
Whoa, whoa,
So,
whoa, 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 whoa. We spent way too long on a future diary. It's not Yuki, it's Yuri.
you're right. You know what? I tried hard there, okay? I even waited for you to correct it. You took too
Yeah, I
long.
know, but no, you
So,
slipped to the dark
Anya's
times of
playing
future diary.
with
No.
bushy hair. You know what? Future Diary is still one of our better ones too, which I found funny. Um, Anya's playing with afro hair in
Frankie?
the apartment. Afro hair in the apartment,
Yeah,
and
Frankie.
Lloyd tells Afro hair in the apartment and
Frankie. His
tells
name is Frankie.
Afro hair, Afro hair, Afro hair.
His name is Frankie, dude.
Afro hair, how Lloyd needs to run out with Yor for a mission, because it's gonna put Mission S, their mission
Strix?
brick on.
Strix!
Do you just want to do it?
No,
You can
go
do it.
ahead. Go ahead. But at least get some of the
So,
stuff right, dude. Come on now.
if you were, you know what? Fuck
Go
off.
ahead.
That's it? Okay. So Lloyd takes Yor out as he paid Afro Hair like a huge chunk of money to watch Anya. They go to the bar. Yor orders her drink, and Yor orders his and tells the bartender to leave the bottle. They start talking, etc., things like that. Yor's in her own head right now and just saying that she needs to spit it out, essentially, in her own mind. So she's like, can't get the words out that she wants to say. So she drinks like a shit ton, right? So she like downs her freaking glass. She downs the whole freaking bottle as well. And then, of course, Lloyd panics because it's just like, you're going to die essentially if you drink that much, right? Um, and this whole thing is because Yor thinks that Lloyd's going to replace her with Nightfall. And what ends up happening is that Yor goes into spy mode, where it's like, oh, is this jealousy that I feel, right? Okay, just a standard mission, nothing about it, right? Because Yor doesn't want anything to change. She likes her life. She doesn't want her brother going back to worrying about her, etc., things like that. And she truly likes Anya quite a bit. So she spills her guts to Lloyd. Lloyd thinks it's jealousy. She's like, this is a hint of jealousy, right? So he tries to like smooth talk her, and then the bartender goes, "Oh, what it would be like to be handsome, right? All the difficulties." Um, Lloyd pulls out his moves, and then out of nowhere, Anya's sorry, not Anya, that'd be wrong. Yor starts freaking out, right? Where it's like they did a really good job on this one, where she has like a red face and she has like a kind of like a temperature gauge on the left of it, like going up like hotter and hotter, where she's gonna explode. As he keeps talking, which is kind of funny. But then out of nowhere, she reaches her max and she just like, I don't know how to. It's like a sucker punch, but with her foot to his chin. It made such clean contact to the point where he went flying like a dead man, like a dead corpse flying. Of course, Lloyd pulls out his skills and like kind of somersaults back and catches himself, but his legs are trembling, right? He is super freaking confused of what happened. He's all like woozy and freaking dizzy and doesn't understand. He's like, I misread that so wrong, panicking, things like that. He wakes up with a memory of his mother singing a song to him, but in reality, it was Yor singing the song to him on a bench in the park that they were at, right outside the bar. Barkeeper kicked them out. Lloyd was knocked out for 5 minutes, and he's like, I've never been knocked out since the training days, essentially. And he was like mortified, really concerned. Yor's happy as can be because she's just freaking hammered, which is really funny. Lloyd's still freaking out about how that happened. After he relaxes for a second, they end up talking and chatting. And then Lloyd shares the his memory with Yor of his mother, really quick and briefly, which actually shows like a bit of a soft side to Lloyd because I don't think he's done that before, of sharing anything personal to a stranger, essentially, right? Um, they all end up going home. Yor is happy, Lloyd's happy, Anya's happy, Byron's not Byron. Bond's
Who's
happy.
Byron?
A dog at work. Byron
Oh,
is a white fluffy dog at work, and this dog is a white fluffy dog on the cartoon. And they're okay, and they both start with a B. Okay, okay.
good point. Good
Um,
point. Go ahead.
so as they're reminiscing of their thoughts and that, they kind of like make up in like a friendship way. They head home. They let Poofy Hair out. Lloyd has like a huge like I don't know like a chin baby,
The chin
right?
baby.
Like where his chin is like another baby, essentially. It's like a pregnant.
You mean it's
It's like
swollen?
yeah. No, no, it's worse than swollen, guys. It literally looks like a
It's
huge ass orange that was stuck to the bottom of his chin. Oh, that's perfect. That's a perfect description. Yours obviously embarrassed of what happened. They explain everything that happened. They go to bed, and the next day, Yor wakes up. What happened to your chin, Lloyd? Are you okay? Right? Not remembering a thing. So Lloyd, of course, is like, really, like, are you kidding, etc. And then they talk everything out again. Anya is at school, talking to Desmond. They're talking. I don't remember what they're talking about. Grades, or was it a party,
I can't
Mister?
remember.
I think it was like a party or something that they had to dress up for, or whatever it was, right? Where the parents all went to, something like that. So
Oh, the it's at the end of crap. Yeah, no, I forgot.
you know what I mean, though, right?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
just forget what they called it.
Um, that's fair. So Anya ends up kind of spiraling in her own mind. And her friend, the purple hair, I don't remember the other brat, makes a suggestion of let's go
Becky?
shopping together. Huh? Who?
Becky.
Becky, sure. It's too late for me learning all these names. We're almost done.
Literally the same. Okay, go ahead. Nah, nah, go. We're on episode 23, and she just now is remembering names. Got it.
Becky makes a suggestion to be like, let's go shopping together towards Anya, right? And how it's gonna be fun, how she has the best clothes, etc. Becky picks up Anya at her place with the butler. Lloyd gave her some cash, like quite a bit of cash, just to make it look like they're somewhat wealthy, etc. And for the mission, Becky rented out the whole first floor of the mall. They go shopping. They try on a million fucking outfits. Some cringe, some cringe, some what the fuck. Um, and then they couldn't find anything for Anya, and then Becky goes, "Oh, we completely forgot to shop for me. What am I gonna wear?" So then she's picking out outfits to try to impress Lloyd, that she thinks. And one of them is really cringy and scandalous for like a little child to be wearing it. I don't know, that's just the way they modeled her in it. It was like, okay, no, that's just no. And then there was another one where she like mimicked Yor's outfit too. So they proceed, they keep going, they keep shopping, etc. Becky bought a whole bunch of shit. Anya bought nothing. They get cake, they're talking, chatting, and then they go for the mall one more time, and then they find these like I don't know, it's like a stuffed sheep kind of like charm, like a key charm, whatever it is. And Anya's like, "Oh, these are really cute. Let's go get one." And then Becky's like, "I can't. Like, nah, it's too cheap," because she's thinking about what her dad would say. So Anya got it as a gift for Becky. The butler told her to accept it 'cause she wanted to, but she was also thinking about what her dad would say. The two brats passed out in the car. The butler is driving them back to Anya's house, and there's a flashback of Becky being bullied as a kid. but she's also bullying the other kids when she was really young, and the butler is trying to like be like, okay, let's just relax, it's fine. So it's just reminiscing about how Becky's grown up, etc. Next day later, Anya and Becky are laughing really together. It's like they go back to school, they're laughing, they're having a thing, and Desmond's kid notices Anya, and he thinks she's cute essentially. I don't know. I found that cringy, that last bit.
Yeah, kind of, sorta.
Yeah, like I just yeah. All right, proceed.
All right, so we are on to the final episode, which is called First Contact. So this episode starts out with Eden College as the first
What?
backdrop.
Eating college ass?
As the backdrop. You didn't even pay attention to the first part. I said as the first backdrop. Jesus Christ. You see what happens when you don't pay
Hmm.
attention? This is exactly what she's like at school, I bet.
Ah, it's so much fun.
Exactly what she's like at school, I would bet. Anyways, Eden College is the backdrop, the opening scene with a bunch of cars lining up to enter it. Turns out that they're all VIPs and that there is a huge social gathering that Imperial scholars attend with their parents. Damien calls home beforehand and asked to speak with his brother Demetrius to see if their dad would be going to the gathering. Demetrius then just kind of, it doesn't seem like they're very close at all because they just kind of, he says, no, he's busy. All right, bye. And that's pretty much the entire conversation that they have.
Yep.
It's kind of sad. Um, but anyway, when Damien starts going to the courtyard to meet with his dad, maybe, and where he had told his brother that he would be, he tells his friends that he'd call and cancel the meeting instead. Anya stops him at the very last second, says that she knows that the reason he wants to cancel is because he's scared. She also tells Damien that he's scared that his dad wouldn't find out that he got bad grades, and that she understands because she's got terrible grades as well, but that she loves her dad and that she shows him all her tests, her tests and homework scores, even though they're absolutely terrible. Becky starts thinking that Anya wants to meet Damien's parents because she wants to one day marry him and she wants to meet his dad because of that. Instead, Anya falls asleep while she waits for Damien's dad, to show up and gets carried out and carried home by Becky's driver. Lloyd says that Anya had lost her sheep token, or sheep keychain, I should say, while it was actually one of the ones that he had made as replica, and asks Damien about it, to which Damien says that he had found it. We then finally see Damien's dad and Lloyd introduce himself. Lloyd apologizes for Anya punching Damien at the entrance ceremony and says that he was hoping to one day go to his place so that he could properly apologize for everything and get to know each other. But Desmond says that there's no need to worry since it was just a squabble between kids, and shoots down Lloyd's chance at visiting his place. After that, that's actually where we leave the entire series so far. Uh, the episode kind of sort of ends there after we go back to Lloyd and Yor. Lloyd does note that Anya passed out on Bond. Looks like she's got absolutely no problem in the world, no care in the world. Meanwhile, he and Yor are still having some trouble just trying to kind of sort of keep up with everything that's going on. But that's where we end.
Um, Yeah, there's gonna be another one, but they kind of really botched the halfway into season two. Like, don't get me wrong, I find personally they did some really good jobs on certain scenes, right?
Yeah,
Like,
on some of them. On
but like
some of them, it's
overall, they really dawdled on it. Like, they 100% could have like easily gotten a bit more into the storyline where they would have shown like Lloyd meeting Desmond's dad sooner.
they really could have. They really honestly could have.
Like, or
But I don't
Damien,
know.
sorry, not Desmond.
My guess is that they did season two while the manga was still coming out, so they had to kind of guess at some stuff, and
That
that might have been where the weird two-part episodes came out. I don't know. Again, it's only a guess.
there's that, but there's also the thing where it's like I is half that yeah. Overall, it's really good. Season 1 is much better than season 2.
Oh, so much
Um
better.
I truly liked about season 1 about how episodes like I think it was like 1 to 4 were super fast and super good. Okay? And then it kind of mellowed out throughout, but they really slowed it down on season 2.
Yeah,
They
I
truly
think so
did.
too.
It was like season like nothing like compared to episode 1 or 2 for the beginning of this anime is like after season 2. Like you can't really compare it. Like there's little scenes in that, but they did whole episodes.
True.
Intense.
Well, that and they kind of shoehorned in the whole Nightfall stuff. Like we get
Yeah.
two episodes with her, but literally almost nothing happens because the only thing that she could think of is that she likes
L-
Lloyd so much. But
Not
that's it.
likes, loves.
Whatever.
There's that, but there's also the thing where it's like they don't even show Anya or not Anya, Yoru like doing her assassination gig or anything.
I know.
Or like they just show like bits of her. Like they genuinely kind of, I don't know. They did the cooking scene about that and then they kind of honestly just kind of put her off to the side. There was more screen time with Nightfall than there was with Yor, in my opinion. It was more bold anyway. Right, like you noticed Nightfall a lot more than you did with Yor. So yeah. I truly hope episode 3 picks it up and it's like badass. Because I don't know, I just found the last like 7 to
Episode 3 or season
13
3?
season 3, pardon me.
Mm-hmm.
I just found episode 7 to 13 were kind of def. Jacob!
Oh, there goes our eardrums.
Sorry. My bad. Sorry.
It's okay. It's just fucking fun.
You're just alert barking for no reason. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just don't get me wrong. I really truly loved the beginning of episode 12, but after that, it's kind of eh. What about you,
Ah,
Chester?
yeah, no. It kind of had its ups and downs. A lot of downs though, and a lot of
Yeah.
really slow downs.
Like it's still worth watching. It's not like we completely hated it. We truly liked it way better than Future Diary.
Oh
I could say
God,
that.
leaps and bounds better than Future Diary. Oh God.
Yeah, like it's still like easily watchable, but it's not as good though. It's truly not,
What, Future
right?
Diary or Spy
No,
Family? Because for me,
the
Spy
Spy
Family is
Family
way
of like
better than that.
the end.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, no. I hope season 3
Like
has more of Yor in it, but
they ended it off on a good note though, like us actually meeting the Desmond's dad, but the thing is though, it took that long.
it took so long. There was so much build up to it, but it was what,
But it was
3 minutes
literally
of it?
nothing. Yeah, it was literally a build up to nothing. So it was just like I don't know.
And
I
literally him just kind of snubbing his own son by saying, "Okay, good job. Bye."
yeah, but no, I so overall I would recommend it to
Oh
watch
yeah,
it.
definitely. Much better than
But
Future Diary.
I
Um,
think hmm?
go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was just gonna end it out.
Oh, I was too.
Okay, so rounding
Works out.
everything out, yeah, rounding everything out. Much better anime. A lot of fun to watch. A lot of comedy, which is really nicely used. Blended in with some drama, which is also nicely used. Um, Yor gets underutilized a lot for now. Hopefully, season three has more of her, and they don't kind of pound it in there. So we'll just wait and see. Anyways, that was Spy Family seasons one and two. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Um, Fun activity to do. Count how many times Snow says "of course" throughout the season one and two, and then the the winner
You're
gets a
going to
shout out.
hell. Also, please put comments in what you like, dislike, things like that,
Yeah,
guys. And fuck you
it's
for that.
like I said, it's gonna be a
Fuck
fun
you.
activity. It's gonna be a fun activity.
Something to say beforehand, not after they watched it. Now you're just wasting their time.
Listen, it kind of helps to show who listened to it all and who didn't. Okay?
All right. Anyway, we will be ending Spy Family on that note.
Yes, we will.
Starting next Monday, so next week, we will be watching the Empress in Shadow, I think, something like that.
No, Eminence and Shadow.
Eminence in Shadow, sorry.
I've already
Um,
started watching some of it. It's pretty fun, kind of weird.
okay,
Uh,
that's good.
nothing Future Diary-ish, so that's a huge plus already. But
Yeah, so that is Chester's pick, and again, and then we will be watching that. We'll probably space out the episodes as we see fit, more or
oh,
less, because
more than
there's 1
likely,
to
yeah.
20. Um,
We'll
and
probably
then
do the
yeah.
spider thing and go like 4 episodes. Who knows?
Oh,
We'll see.
okay.
We'll see.
We'll see. Um, yeah, but other than that, I think that's it. Please leave a comment. This is Chester. I've
Hi,
been Snow.
and
Have
leave
a
a
good night.
like, subscribe, share with your friends, family, grandma, granddad.
Oh, those poor things.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.